Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 21 Canisius Education Fair. Today, I'm Samuel Adrian, will be your host for the Study Zone presentation for Trinity College and University of Melbourne. Without further ado, let us hear the presentation that will be delivered by Mr. James Carley, Ms. Hannah Kezia, and Mr. Daniel. For speakers, the stage is yours.
Okay, thanks, Samuel. Okay, so hello, everyone. First of all, I'm Daniel from Study Zone, and here with me, there's James from Trinity College, and Hannah, which is the next Trinity student, and now studying in Melbourne Uni. Okay, a little bit of myself. I was a Canisian, by the way. I graduated from Canisius in 2017 and decided to go to Melbourne Uni, of course, through the Trinity Foundation pathway. So same as you guys did, I was also participated in the Canisius Education Fair, which then I came to the Trinity booth, and it really helped me in choosing the right university and the pathway to do so. And here I am now. I just finished my bachelor degree at Melbourne Uni, and I was graduated last year. I strongly believe that you guys are on the right track by coming to our presentation, and I promise it will be very helpful, and it's a life-changing, perhaps, if I would say. So if there's any question, please do not hesitate to simply comment in the chat box and ask your questions. All right, then. Hope you guys enjoy, and passing to you, James. The time is all yours.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, and thank you to the staff at Canisius for arranging this. It's indeed a privilege and a great pleasure to speak to the students at Canisius today. We don't have much time, so I'll try not to bore you with too many details, but I thought it might be interesting for some of the students just to see a little bit of where we are. And so I'll just show you this photograph of the campus. Now, for students who might have visited Melbourne, you might be familiar with the downtown area here. As you come forward further north, you reach this highlighted area in the photograph. This is the campus of the University of Melbourne. And the reason I'm showing you this is there's a distinct name for the program we do, Trinity College Foundation Studies, and a lot of students and some families think, oh, it must be disconnected in some way from the university. So this photograph just shows you the layout of the campus and the location of all of the colleges around this northern boundary. But this is Trinity College here. So you can see we're definitely part of the campus. In fact, we were the original college of the University of Melbourne. We were established about 20 years after the university was established. The university was in the 1850s. We were established in 1872. We've been delivering the Foundation Studies program now for more than 30 years. And basically, as much as we would love to say it's because of the program itself, it's actually really more to do with the University of Melbourne. And the University of Melbourne, I'm sure you're aware, is regarded as Australia's #1 university. It's what we call a comprehensive university. So it covers a wide range of subject areas, from the purely theoretical and research-based areas of study up to the very practical, medicine, engineering, things like that, and also the liberal arts. We also have a very fine law school, a very strong business school. So it's a comprehensive university. Individual subject areas are generally ranked #1 in Australia, but the university itself is regarded worldwide as Australia's best university and the strongest in delivering comprehensive university programs, both at degree, bachelor degree, and then later in postgraduate, master's and PhD standard. So Foundation Studies works in the way that it prepares you for that, and it prepares you in a very specific way. It makes sure that international students have a fair chance of excelling at university in the same way that all of the local students, so students who've been in high schools here in Melbourne, of course, know what the system is. They, of course, know what's expected of them in the teaching and learning framework here in Australia. So they have an unfair advantage, if you like, against students who have done very well in high school systems in their own countries around the world. Typically, students would arrive in Australia for the first time living abroad, living away from their home. They take a while to adjust, and they really need to get used to what is it that the university expects of me? What is this new teaching and learning system? And so that's what Trinity College is all about. Trinity College's program is designed to make sure that all the international students are starting their bachelor degree on at least an equal footing, if not slightly better than the local students in terms of their preparation. And the reason I showed you that photograph of where we are is to emphasize that when you are doing foundation studies at Trinity College, not only are you preparing for university life, but you're part of university life. You're on the campus itself. You have full access to the libraries and the student buildings throughout the university campus. You have access to the sporting facilities. You can join the clubs, the societies, the many student societies that are available there. So it's really embedding you in student life at the university, as well as your academic preparation. And we do that through a number of ways, but basically our role is to make sure that you are comfortable with the teaching and learning system. Now, we're very fortunate today to have at least 2 alumni with us. We've got Daniel here, who's working now with Study Zone, and also we've got Hannah. And I'm just going to throw over to Hannah because she is currently studying at the University of Melbourne. She's a graduate of Trinity College Foundation Studies. She knows the program very, very well, but also she knows the kind of challenges that face international students coming in. And so perhaps, Hannah, if you want to open up your microphone there, and I might just start by asking you what you thought of in terms of the difference in the study environment that you encountered when you arrived at Melbourne to study at Trinity College compared to, say, your high school life. And how was it different? And how did Trinity College Foundation Studies assist you in that?
Oke, halo semuanya, aku Hana, aku dulu sekolah di SMA Santa Teresa, jadi I would say it's pretty similar to Canisius, karena sama-sama sekolah Katolik. Menurut aku, kurikulumnya sangat berbeda between Canisius and University of Melbourne, therefore you need to go through Trinity College. Yang paling beda adalah kalau di college or in university, kamu itu harus aktif berpartisipasi and you're actually getting rewarded to be active in class. Bedanya gitu. Kalau di SMA kan biasanya, oh yaudah duduk aja di belakang terus dengerin gurunya dan apa yang dibilang sama guru, yaudah itu yang keluar di tes. Sedangkan selama aku belajar di Trinity dan di University of Melbourne, tesnya nggak pernah ada pertanyaan yang, oh waktu itu gurunya bilang apa ya gitu. Selalu, it's always like they give you a topic and then you need to write an essay or like a piece of writing about it. Jadi it really engages critical thinking. Yang kedua, kenapa aku appreciate Trinity so much itu karena belajar di luar kan is something very new. Like not only you're studying in a new environment, tapi kalian juga harus manage home life, which is you need to cook your own food, kalian harus kerjain laundry, beresin kamar semua, itu harus di-manage sendiri. Di Trinity itu, they have so much support, and I really appreciate them for that, because this is support system I have in Trinity benar-benar bantuin aku untuk menyesuaikan transisi dari hidup di Jakarta yang apa-apa disediain, sampai harus tinggal sendiri. So that's really helpful. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Hannah. That's terrific. Now, we're getting a few questions already in the chat, so I might just skip to. There was one there that said, is it difficult for international students to adjust to the Australian lifestyle? Now, naturally, I would say, no, it's not difficult at all, but perhaps it's more fair to ask Hannah to answer that question.
Awal-awal pasti shock karena it's something new. It's always shocking. Tapi that's what Trinity is there for. Dengan Trinity, nggak cuma mereka nyiapin kalian untuk academic wise to transfer to a new curriculum, tapi juga the social life, as what I said before. Like Trinity really helps you adjust to it. Penyesuaian selalu susah sih, tapi dengan kalian masuk Trinity, itu menurut aku benar-benar dibantu and makes things very easier, I would say.
Great. Thanks, Hannah. Now, we're also getting questions about scholarships, and I know that all students want to know about that. So I'll just briefly explain how we award our scholarships. So when you apply for Trinity College Foundation Studies, we will give you what we call a packaged offer. And that means you'll get an offer for the Foundation Studies program. Now, this might be in the standard intake, which is basically an academic year or 10 months of study, or you might get it for the fast track. Fast track's very popular with the Indonesian students. It's not a requirement, but you might do that. So we will assess your application to see, have you met our minimum standard for entry into either the standard program or the fast track? At the same time, we are also assessing you for a scholarship. Now, this is important to know because we assume that most students, if not all students, would like a scholarship to assist in the finances of the course, and therefore we don't ask you to submit another application, a separate one for the scholarship. What we do is we assess your your application to see if we can offer you a place in the course. Once we've established, yes, that's right, this student has met the minimum entry requirements, the next question the admission staff ask is, has the student far exceeded what we needed? And in that case, those students are put aside. We send out the offer letter, of course, but we keep a separate file of those transcripts where the students are way above our academic requirement. And that way we can say, right, okay, these students should be considered for a scholarship. About 6 to 7 weeks before the course starts, we will stop collecting those special ones and we'll look and we'll say, okay, so for the next intake, let's say the next intake is the February intake. February intake, let's say, for example, we have 10 scholarships. We literally go to that list of students and we select the top 10 based on their academic scores. We will then make an offer. Trinity offers 50% tuition scholarships for the very top students in each intake. So across the year, we might have 45, 50, 55 scholarships to hand out. We don't give them all out in the first intake and then have none left. We sort of space them out among our intakes throughout the year. They are awarded purely on your academic results. We don't look at your English result or any personal statement or anything like that. We just look at your academic results. If they far exceed our minimum requirements, then you'll be considered for one, and then you'll be selected based on where you are on that list as the top few students. Assuming that you haven't accepted an offer elsewhere and you say, yes, I would like that scholarship, and yes, I'm going to accept my offer, then that means the second installment of fees, we divide our tuition payment into 2 installments. You pay the first one to accept your offer, you pay the second one halfway through the course. So the second installment is basically free of charge because your scholarship covers that. When you are going from Trinity into the University of Melbourne, into the bachelor degree, the process is exactly the same. So you do not have to apply separately for a scholarship from the university. The staff there will automatically assess your Trinity results, not your high school results this time. This time it'll be your Trinity results. They will automatically check that to see, has the student met the minimum requirement for the Bachelor of Science or the Bachelor of Commerce or whichever degree it is, and then they will award a scholarship based on your academic results being far above what the minimum requirements are. The university has a wider range of scholarships, so you can get perhaps a one-off financial grant, maybe $10,000 in your first year of study, or you might get a 50% scholarship, which goes through the 3 years of your bachelor degree. So 50% of year 1, year 2, year 3. In some very unusual cases, we have 100% scholarships offered by the university to Trinity graduates. Each year we might have 2 or 3 really outstanding students with scores right up in the high 90s. And the university effectively says, please come to our university to do your bachelor degree free of charge, and they pay 100% of your tuition. You can imagine they're very, very competitive and very difficult to get. But overall, in a year, in any one year, probably upwards of 50 or 60 students exiting Trinity College Foundation Studies going into the university are going to get a scholarship of some sort, either one of those financial grants or a 50% scholarship, or perhaps 2 or 3 of our students in any one year might actually get 100% scholarship. So that's how they are dealt with. We've also got a question about dormitories and living. There are 10 or 11 colleges attached to the university campus which offer accommodation. Trinity is one of those. We can house about 370 students, so we're not the biggest college, but we're one of the larger ones. Collectively, though, the university campus is made up of about 55,000 students, including local students, part-time students, full-time students, international students. It's a large population. It's like a small town or a city. Only a small number, something like 2,500, 3,000 students can actually fit into the college system and live on the campus. For this reason, foundation study students don't live in the colleges. So even though you're part of the Trinity College community, you don't get a room in Trinity or any of the other colleges until you're ready to start your bachelor degree. And then if you want to, you can apply for a room in one of the colleges. So for our foundation studies students, they all live off campus. Some of them live very, very close, like literally walking distance to their lectures and classes. Some of them live a bit further, perhaps a tram ride or a bicycle ride up to the campus. And some of them live further out. So accommodation really varies. Hannah, I might ask you to just comment briefly about your experience with accommodation as a foundation student.
Oh ya, jadi pas aku pergi ke Trinity itu, I was pretty young. I was like 16 turning 17. Jadi they have really strict rules with underage students. Dan aku akhirnya tinggal in a student accommodation, namanya Journal, 5 minutes away from campus, really, really good accommodation. Aku pilih Journal, and I didn't regret it because they have a really good support system. Banyak teman aku tuh ketemunya dari accommodation, surprisingly, bukan dari kelas-kelas. Dan mereka very student-friendly, very safe, and setiap kali aku ada pertanyaan, whether it be anything to do with like your new life in Melbourne, mereka ada orang-orang di sana yang bisa ngebantu. So I really recommend staying in a student accommodation. And there's multiple good ones that are walking distance to campus.
Thanks, that's great. Now, we're also getting a lot of questions in the chat box here about extracurricular kind of activities, what clubs and things you can do. Let me tell you, if you are here with us on campus, so during the pandemic, we're delivering online, which is a little bit annoying. But once you're here in Melbourne with us, we can get you into not just the Trinity sort of clubs and activities. We have a few what we call lifestyle classes. So we have some classes that teach you how to cook. We have some music groups. We have some students that are involved in a band and play together. We have a little bit of drama going on. But the university has something like over 250 clubs and activities, all sorts of student societies. Some of them are made up of, particularly interest to international students. So they might be the Indonesian Students Society, or there might be something from international students in general that you can meet and discuss things. Or they might be sport-based, games-based, things like public speaking or English language clubs and activities, music clubs. Such a wide range. And of course, as a foundation studies student, you are free to join them. Even though you haven't started your bachelor degree, you are free to join them. So yes, we will provide, we have got a a team of staff called the Student Experience Staff, and they run things like our orientation and our graduation, but also they involve the students in extracurricular activities throughout the year while they're studying with us. But more than that, I think most of our students really benefit from joining perhaps one or two of our activities and things that we run throughout the year in terms of Trinity College, but actually joining in with a university group is really valuable because you're studying foundation studies, you haven't started your degree, you're mixing with uni students, you're already establishing a network of friends in that club or activity who are already at university. Some of them will be 1 year ahead of you, some of them will be 2 or 3 years ahead of you. You can make some great contacts. You can find out a lot more about university life just by being involved in one of those clubs. So we really encourage it. We don't force you to do it, but we really encourage you to get involved. I see, I'm watching the clock. I see we're running short of time already. There's a question about social politics. Do we have a major in that? The university has a very fine Bachelor of Arts, which covers a lot of what we call liberal arts or the general humanities programs. Within that, we have sociology majors, psychology, political science, all sorts of things. In fact, the Bachelor of Arts is probably our broadest bachelor degree at the university. Science is also very, very broad. It has a huge range of majors available to you. But I would urge you, if you're interested in those particular degrees, to have a look on the list of subjects on the website at the University of Melbourne for particularly the Bachelor of Arts, because it is so broad and there are so many interesting areas of study. But certainly if you're interested in politics, political history, economic history, these are all available through the Bachelor of Arts. I'm trying to answer as many of these as I can possibly answer before we get cut off. I've answered the one about scholarships and about clubs and activities. There's a question here about Australia is synonymous with very dangerous animals. Hannah, have you ever encountered a very dangerous animal here in Melbourne?
No, I think that's like a saying just for the suburbs. I don't think that's really a thing in the city, so you shouldn't be worried about that.
Yes, and some of the more exotic animals we've got are in the far north of Australia, up in the Northern Territory or in Queensland. I wish I could say, yes, you'll meet koalas and kangaroos here in Melbourne, but that's not true. You won't at all. As Hannah says, we're really right in a city of about nearly 5 million people. So there's the most dangerous animals you'll see will probably be the cars whizzing past you on the roads. You won't be in danger of getting eaten by a shark or taken by a crocodile. Don't worry. Extra clubs I've talked about. Sorry, Daniel.
James?
Yes.
I reckon Trinity is going to hold the Trinity Talk event. Yeah, could you encourage us, tell us about more why students should join that event?
Sure, that's a great point. I will hand over to Hannah because she's going to talk specifically about that. But just briefly, we have run 2 very successful series, and some of you may already have attended. We did one in 2020 and we did one in the first half of this year of live lectures. We deliver these on Monday nights. Our next series is going to be called the Trinity Talks. I will put URL in the chat box here for you to have a look at in terms of registering for it. Let me just say they run for approximately 1 hour. We've got some of our leading academics talking to you in a very informal way about a range of the subjects that we offer at Trinity College. They're really interesting. You can register for just 1 or 2, but if you want to register for the whole 7 and you attend them all, we'll give you a certificate. Hannah, did you want to say more about that while I search for this URL and put it in the chat box?
I think pretty much James summed it up. This is one program that I wished I have prior to coming to Trinity, or I was informed about, because it's free. It's a free live lectures. I just bakal bantu banget kalian yang kayak mungkin masih bingung mau sekolah di Trinity atau enggak, atau emang udah tahu mau sekolah di Trinity tapi nggak tahu gimana nanti kondisinya. This is like a little glimpse of how it's gonna be later on in Trinity College. I really, really suggest you guys to come and to attend. Again, it's free of charge. Why not? And also, it's very informative. Setahu aku banyak lecturers yang bakal host the lectures later, itu guru-guru di Trinity juga. Jadi very useful, get familiar with the system in Trinity. I really recommend you guys to attend it.
Thanks, Hannah. And I'll just add to that, this time around, they're slightly different from the previous versions. If you went to them, we've got the staff that are really enthusiastic about them. I can guarantee you the first one, which is going to be the joys of studying physics. It's delivered by one of our academics called Paolo. He is obsessed by physics. He loves it, and he's very enthusiastic, and he gives great presentations, much more interesting than me. So if you log into the first one, Monday the 20th of September, you'll see Paolo talking about a really wide range of things in physics, and it's really fascinating. I find them really enjoyable. Now, I'm conscious of the fact that we're going to run out of time at any stage. Oliver has asked, what is the favourite major at Trinity? Well, we deliver the program through electives and core subjects, but in terms of the selected degree, probably the most popular degree is the Bachelor of Commerce, but the Bachelor of Science is also very, very popular. So those are the two ones that most of our students will go to, and the Bachelor of Arts probably almost equal third. But remember, the university is comprehensive, so it has a lot of science students, but also we've got the Bachelor of Design, a very strong Bachelor of Design, Bachelor of Arts. There's a Bachelor of Agriculture, which teaches you all sorts of things about food supply and food science, as well as food production. There's really a wide range there. So again, I'd sort of urge you to have a look at the website at University of Melbourne. But the important thing to know is the Foundation Studies at Trinity is designed to plug you into any of those fields of study. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about being kept out of one. You can go straight in with the background in Foundation Studies. Now, I know Daniel wants to say quickly a couple of words, so I'll hand over to you, Daniel, if that's okay.
Yep, okay. Oke, jadi semuanya, untuk tahu lebih dalam lagi Trinity itu gimana, dan kalau misalnya kalian mau tanya-tanya lebih dalam programnya gimana, kalian bisa langsung aja join di online booth kita, di Study Zone booth. Di situ kita akan share pertanyaan banyak banget, kita akan jawab semua pertanyaan, dan aku juga mau kasih tahu info nih, nanti kita jam 3, kita akan ada one-on-one private live consultation. Jadi untuk kalian yang mau lebih dalam lagi, tanya ke kita bisa nanti jam 3. Caranya gimana? Caranya kamu tinggal datang ke booth kita aja. Aku rasa itu aja sih, and thank you very much for the presentation, James and Hannah.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Canisius, for having us. Thanks, Daniel, and thanks, Hannah, especially for coming along today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Okay, because our time is up, thank you so much once again to Mr. James Carley, Ms. Hannah Kezia, and Mr. Daniel for the amazing presentation. As Mr. Daniel mentioned earlier, if you guys have any other question about Trinity College and also University of Melbourne, don't hesitate to ask in the Study Zone online booth. Thank you once again, and this event is sponsored by